What's going on, your boy? You know what I'm saying? Wanted to jump up on here, man. Really wanted to talk about a few things. I really want to get into more of history and also the somewhat history of colorism as well. I definitely want to jump in. Everybody talking about the impeachment process of Trump. I mean, yeah, a lot of Republicans really upset with it, but I told a lot of people he really didn't commit treason. He basically just didn't tell Putin what everybody wanted him to tell, like, you did it. Like I say, Trump is going to really just beat by his own drums. He's not the type that's going to be following orders. He's the type of dude that give orders. So he wasn't going to just make a threat to Putin like that. And in his mind, he believed, like I said, he believed that the whole entire Russian investigation is more of a Democrat-led, even though you do have a significant numbers of Republicans that believe that the Russian was in cahoot with it. But at the same time, Trump was an anomaly because both parties really don't like Trump or wanted Trump to win. He's not really part of the establishment. So they're really, it's a hard thing to say because they really don't want to try to impeach him because they, like I said, the Republican base don't want a mega outrage retaliation in their own party. And that could lead Republicans to a very radical right as well as a Democrat going to a radical left. But that's really my take with it. The Democrats also, to me, don't play no false. They play a lot of things into it, but they have a dark plan that you think about why they're pushing this immigration policy. It really is more about replacement. It's replacing one voter block with another voter block. And that's pretty much what's the agenda in that formula is. But I definitely really want to talk about more of, there was a scientist, I forgot it was a Civilized Global or Science Talk or something like that. They actually came out with a study that majority of humans, except for African, has DNA of Neanderthal and some trace of DNA of Densiovan. But basically, the majority of the world have some trace of genetics from Neanderthal. And I was kind of like, well, duh, man. It'll take a rocket scientist to know that half the world is got Neanderthal DNA in it. When you think about the Densiovan, that's a hybrid of Neanderthal and Homo sapien, and maybe if you want to go into that, maybe a little bit of DNA of Homo erectus. But yeah, like I said, the first migration, for Homo sapien came about 200,000 years ago. For Neanderthals, it came around a little over. Actually, when they actually evolved, they evolved from a whole different evolution lineage. That's called, I think they were called Gagalices or Galerices. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the name, but very long name. And, they found in remains. They were pretty much like another hominid, but they were more primate. And they existed in the Caucasus Mountains in Europe, and they were the remains were like around 7 million. But everybody's talking about the split, and the diverge came around 7 million. So the Neanderthal come from a different evolution lineage than where Homo sapien came from. Now, they maybe at one time they maybe did come from a sole species, a hominid species, but there were so many different evolution diversions and split that it almost making it almost making it possible for the Neanderthal and the Homo sapien, where we are, to be really physically related. It's been almost like the genes been sliced so many times that we basically come from two different evolution origins, almost relativity. But yeah, I always told them Africans, like especially from South Africa, we don't have no traces of Neanderthal. We don't. I mean, we never made it. No, there's no DNA significant of Neanderthal in any black person of African or definitely of Sahara African um, genetics. You know what I'm saying? So, you got other black people, whatever like that, or Asian people, but those coming from almost three different types of hominid species. You had, like you said, Homo sapien, modern man, the Neanderthal, that's now extinct, and you got Densiovan, that was a hybrid of Homo sapien and Neanderthal, and maybe Homo erectus, because there was evidence of Homo erectus also traveled to Asia. Um, they actually found the remain of a Homo erectus near Perkins. I think they discovered them, I think, in the early 1900s. If I'm mistaken, that became present-day Beijing, China. And the remain was over 700,000 years old. So there is proof that there were other, besides just Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, there were other, there were other hominid species or humanoid species that did exist. And Homo erectus is basically, we kind of we actually demerged from it. We actually emerged from that. We basically had an adaptation evolution from the Homo erectus that came out of Africa. So it's more the Homo erectus is more closer to the Homo sapien than which the Neanderthal is closer to the Homo erectus. But like I said, they just found this out. I've been knowing this to like when the day they came out that the Neanderthal is not human beings. There's something genetically else. That was the first discovery. Well, no, some people believe it, some people didn't. But over time, common sense, just thinking about it, and the evolution and historic evidence that appeared itself. I mean, it should have took you this long to come with the conclusion that okay, the majority of the world, except for African or black people, has DNA and a basic of non-human DNA in them. And like I said, some of these, the Densiovians, I'll say to account with the Densiovians, there was a hybrid, you know what I'm saying? So they were more closer to a Homo sapien than the Neanderthal was. Because Neanderthal bloodline comes straight from primates, almost. But you had also hybrids. You had different hybrid species probably at the time that was coming about. I know in Melanesia, and I think some parts of Polynesia, that they discovered an unknown human DNA that's not Homo sapien. It's not. It's neither. They said they did. Melanesian had Densiovians, and they have a little bit, some have a little bit of Neanderthal DNA, but a lot of them got basically Homo sapien and Densiovan DNA. But they also found another genetic imprint that's not Neanderthal. So I made a claim when they found remains of a Homo erectus man in China, and that's not based over 700,000 years ago. Maybe that unknown DNA signature that they found maybe come from a Homo erectus. You know, like I always ask myself, you know, a lot of people don't really talk about the Homo erectus, and they are perceived the oldest of the early humans. You know what I'm saying, on Earth. So I mean, no one never really talks about them. I mean, they just talk about them in Africa, and that's it. But you know, like I told you, there are many different type of human species or hominid species that was leaving Africa before Homo sapien. Homo sapien, us, modern man, was the last species of humans to leave Africa. Now that I would definitely count. All right, I would definitely stick by that. We were the last ones to leave. I think the earliest they recorded us was over about 200,000 years. So you had other species that was in these other areas for over 500,000 years. So yes, I feel that the early modern man did encounter some multiple species, and they did made it with them, interbreed with them. They trade skills with them, collect trades with them. You know, I think there was probably some valuable information that exchanged from the two, and also there were a lot of breeding going on. So that's where the world population got DNA from got Neanderthal DNA and got Densiovan DNA, because there was a lot of migration, but there was a lot of inbreeding. Well, I won't say, yeah, there was a lot of interspecies inbreeding. So that's pretty much my gist of it. Now, was they also trading knowledge and skills? I think they were doing that too. I think they were trading. You know, they're not just going to have sex and that be it. I think there were major trade going on, and there were major information sharing at that time going on. So that's really I just wanted to really jump about. I'm gonna definitely put the link in the bottom description. I'm gonna hit you guys back up with another video. Definitely gonna make it hot for you guys. All right, one.